Welcome back to the channel for all my subscribers. If you're new here and this is the first time that you're clicking on one of my videos, well, welcome to you too. If you want to be part of a channel where you'll probably learn more in the comments section than any video that I put up, then you come to the right place. Go ahead and subscribe and just take a look at the comments. This channel has the best subscribers that are available on YouTube. If you don't believe me, start reading comments. Everybody posts up their personal opinion. Everybody posts up their interaction with different companies. And I'm telling you, if you look through the comments, you'll learn more than you will from my video. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Cloudwheels. As of right now, I haven't had any issue with the new cores, the Discovery cores. So I'm a huge fan. I ride a lot of sidewalks, a lot of bumps, a lot of really rough asphalt, and polyurethane wheel are just too rough for me. I love the Cloudwheels. I've had a whole bunch of questions regarding the Onsra running Cloudwheel, regarding the Wowgo running Cloudwheels, and I've had a couple of the Verreal. So I'm going to hit that really quick. It's super easy for those three boards. The Wowgo, you're going to have to remove the belt cover. This right here, you're going to have to remove it and either modify it to put it back in, or put it back on, or leave it off. The 105 Cloudwheel will rub on the belt guard, so you have to remove that. But the Cloudwheel will fit on the Wowgo pulleys right out the box, so you're good to go. The Onsra, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is buy the ABEC pulleys from Onsra, either the 40Ts or the 45s, and they'll fit right on. The belt covers are high enough up here that they'll fit even all the way up to the 120 Cloudwheel without any type of modification or any changing out. The Verreal, supposedly, I don't have mine yet. I have a set of Cloudwheel for it, but I don't have the actual board yet. Supposedly, their ABEC pulleys the Cloudwheel will fit right on. So every board's different. Do your research, but you have to start off by running ABEC pulleys. Now, with the Evolve, it won't fit on. So the spokes are too thick on the Cloudwheels to fit the actual Cloudwheel on the pulleys from Evolve. So when I bought this kit, all my other boards before, all I've done was buy the wheels. For this kit, I bought the entire setup. So supposedly inside the container is belts, pulleys, the belt covers, and then the wheels. So everything that you need to retrofit the Cloudwheel onto the Evolve should be included in this package. When you're going onto the Cloudwheel website, link in the description, discount code in the description, RAMA is the discount code, RAMA. It'll save you a little bit of money. But when you're going on the website, people have asked me, which one did you buy for the Onsra? I just bought the wheels, just the plain wheel by themselves, no kit. Obviously for this one, it's the Evolve kit. So with that, the Evolve comes with 32T pulleys and 97mm wheels from Evolve. You can go through Evolve and get the 38T pulleys. I live in a very hilly area and this board has been struggling up hills really bad. So I went through Cloudwheels and I bought their 40T pulleys. So hopefully that gears it down. I'm going to lose some top speed. I'm going to lose a lot of top speed with the gearing it down. I'm going to gain a little bit of top speed back because I'm going from 97 to 105mm. But the top speed of the board, I completely think that it's going to be less than it was. But hopefully it gets me up the hills, because on my ride just last night, I was doing 5 miles an hour up some of the hill, completely floored in GTR mode. So hopefully this helps out the motor and helps the board out a little bit, helps it to not overheat. So that's enough about all the other boards. Let's specifically talk about the Evolve. What I'm looking for here is, number one, I'm looking for how good a quality they are, if they have bearings in them, stuff like that. I know that the wheel come with bearings and spacers. I'll go over that for people that are new to this. But I'm looking for the quality of this, and I'm also looking to see if the belt length of the Cloudwheel set is the right length in order to retrofit the bigger pulleys, get over the motor pulley, and not have to adjust the motors. So Onsra are really good about that. Between their 40 and 45T pulleys, it's different length belts, but you don't have to adjust the motor when you swap in between the different pulleys. I'm hoping Cloudwheel did their research and these are going to slip right on and I don't have to adjust the motors. So let's get into it. If you've already done this a bunch of times, then just skip towards the end of the video. I'm going to kind of go over this for people that haven't. So first step is to remove the wheel nut. and remove the wheel. Now that the wheel is off, because we're changing belts, we're going to have to remove the 2 Allen screws here and remove the belt cover. All right, the belt cover's off. I should say that you don't have to remove the belt cover if you're only going to pull the pulley off and put it back on, but you don't have to adjust the motors at all to get the belts and pulleys off. You just work it back and forth and pull it off. Look how tiny that thing is. So that's the 32T. Oh, look at that. I have a rock in the belt. You need to check that, especially if you're riding in rocky areas. You need to check that. That's the #1 destroyer of belts, is that rock inside the pulley. It'll just fray your belt, cut it, and then you're SOL. All right, so now that we have that off, let's get this open. Let's check out the contents and then see if it goes on. All right, looking at the contents, so that's pretty cool. These are metal. These are metal belt covers, so that's pretty cool. They are definitely smaller to fit that bigger diameter of the Cloudwheels. So definitely bigger. The pulleys look very good quality. They have a single bearing in it, just like the pulleys from Evolve only have 1 bearing in them. So single bearing, and then you can see how much wider the teeth are on this than on this. So with those thicker spokes of the Cloudwheel, it won't go over these, or at least I didn't want to hammer them over it. If I'm wrong on that, if you can actually get these on there, let me know in the comments, but I needed bigger pulleys anyway. So that's why I went with these. They give you 2 belts. They're obviously bigger because you're going with a bigger pulley. So they're bigger belts. But you only get 2 of them. So in hindsight, I probably should have ordered an extra set of belts, but I'll look this up, the 275M, and get an extra set of belts, because that's the last thing I want, is a belt to break and then me being stranded. Especially with the range on this, 32 miles. I don't want to be 30 miles away from my house when the belt breaks. All right, let's get them on. So this is the first test without adjusting the motors at all. I'm just going to slide the pulley on, and I'm going to try to feed this onto the gear of the motor. And it's seeming a little tight. Yep. I mean, I could probably force this on, but I think that's going to be too tight anyway. So I am going to have to adjust the motors. Now with that, I've seen a bunch of people say that they've had problems with loosening the 4 motor mounts to adjust it in and out. Here's my recommendation for that. Try to use an Allen. If it starts to strip it out, stop. The best case scenario, you're going to strip out your Allen. Worst case scenario, you strip out one of these screws. It's a pain. They have Loctite on them. I believe it's humans putting Loctite. So if somebody puts more on one screw, it might be seized in there. The best way to get Loctite to make Loctite let loose its grip is heat. I'm not going to take a direct flame to this. No thank you. They're exposed wires, everything else. What I do if I need heat, especially on small screws like this, I use a soldering iron or soldering pin, and I put it right on the top of the screw, and I just let it sit there. And eventually the heat will travel down the shaft of the screw, and it will help get the Loctite loose enough to get it out. So kind of disappointing. I wish I didn't have to adjust the motors, but looks like I do. All right, so can't really see that. Bring it closer. So this screw closest to the camera, it actually came loose, but the other 3, they're just too tight. I don't want to keep turning on them. So right now I have a soldering pin, and it takes a while for this to heat up. I mean, I fully anticipate me having to stand here on that screw for about 15 minutes per, but I'll update you if I'm able to get them out or not. So I want to explain what I'm doing here. So this screw, this screw came out, this screw and this screw I've already done. What I'm doing, I'm just taking, the flatter the nose, the better. That will still fit in the head of the bolt. So I'm just putting the soldering pin into the head of the bolt, and I'm tipping it over just a little bit to help the side warm up too. So those two screws took in between 3 to 5 minutes of heat. So all I'm doing is holding it here for about 3 to 5 minutes so it heats up the shaft of the screw, breaks down the Loctite a little bit, and then they're coming out. So 3 are loose, 1 to go. Alright, heat did the trick. I don't want to harp on that too much, it'll make the video too long, but you have to use the right size Allen wrench too, or else you'll strip stuff out. So I used a 1/8, and I used a Craftsman brand. The cheaper the Allen wrench, the cheaper the steel. But I put a little bit of heat to it, 3 to 5 minutes, and got them all loose. So now I can adjust it back and forth. If you put a soldering iron on for 3 to 5 minutes and it still doesn't come loose, then keep putting it back on. I mean, full disclosure, or full whatever, I'm not responsible for anything that you do or don't do to your board. This is what I did to make it work, and it worked. So I got all 4 loose by applying a little bit of heat to them. I mean, this one already cooled down. I just loosened it up maybe 30 seconds ago. So it didn't take much. It just took a little bit of heat going down the shaft, and now I can move it out. I've heard horror story of people stripping these out. So I thought I would include that in this video to help anybody looking to do the modification or put Cloudwheels on the Evolve. Okay, so I got them all adjusted. I got the motor adjusted and all the screws tightened. What I do, I put the belt and the motor, or the belt and the pulley on. I get it adjusted where I want it. I hold it there, I tighten 1 screw, check it, tighten another screw, check it, tighten the 3rd screw, check it. Then I remove the entire system, or the belt and the pulley, and then I tighten this inner one so I can get good purchase with the Allen wrench. So now I can just slide the belt and pulley on. Now there's a lot of question on how tight your belt should be. That's personal preference. I'm not going to tell you how tight your belt should be. I'll tell you what works for me, and this is what I look for when I'm doing belts and tightness. So try to come up at this angle. So when I push on this side, you can see this side flex just a little bit. See that flex on the other side? That's what I look for. It's making good contact with the teeth up here. Now I'm a heavier rider, so I have to have them a little bit tighter. If you're a lighter rider, you might like the belts more loose, but that's what I do. Do whatever works for you. If you have a better idea of anything that I just showed you, post it in the comments and help everybody out. All right, use the old screws from the old belt cover. Here's the old one. There's a new one. It's obviously smaller. Bolted right up. No drama. Okay, the kit comes with all the bearings and spacers that you need. So I always start from the back, put a bearing in, then flip it over, put the spacer in, put the bearing in. Now, you want to make sure that the bearings are all the way set, all the way in their home. So most of the time, if you just put enough force with your fingers, they'll go in all the way into place. Sometimes they won't. They need a little persuasion. However you persuade it, that's up to you. You don't ask me, I won't ask you. So then you need the spacer. Make sure that your spacer is standing up when you start pushing this down. If it falls over inside there and you force this down, it is really hard to get this bearing back out because the spacer blocking it, you can't just hit it out from the other side. So just be mindful of that. Make sure that your spacer is standing up when you force the last bearing in. All right, let's get them all together. So now we're going to make sure that the pulley's set all the way. What I'm looking for when I'm looking at pulleys, you see, let me grab something. You see this neck, this collar right here? So your bearing, the inner bearing on the wheel and the inner race on the bearing, it has to make contact with that. If it doesn't, then you're going to put side loads on your bearings and you're just going to tear them up. So what I'm looking for, I get down level and I make sure that that collar is just slightly higher than the edge of the pulley, which it is. Good job, Cloudwheels. It looks like you got a winner here. So make sure that your pulley is seated all the way down. If not, you can run into problems too. That's seated all the way down. So now I'm going to throw the wheel on. Now, one thing that I do want to say with the Evolve is it did not come with any, I don't think they're gross or dirty, but any speed washers, because they're incorporated into the bearing. The spacers and the speed washer are all incorporated into the Evolve bearings. Cloudwheels did not provide speed washers. So when you order this kit, I suggest ordering another set of belts if you want them, and a set of speed washers. You're going to need them on the inside and the outside of the front, and you're going to need them on the outside of the front. If you run them on the inside, that's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do, but I run speed washers with bearings. So let me grab some speed washers and throw the rest of the on. If I have any issue with the other side, I'll just update you because I already showed you how to fix it. Throwing together the other side, and I just noticed that I didn't show the size difference of the pulleys, and it's pretty drastic. So this pulley, the 32s fit inside the 40s. Pretty drastic size difference. This will help you if you're running 120 Cloudwheels, and then also this will help you with hills. Well, I'm hoping it's going to help me with hills. Cloudwheel offers different sizes. I got the biggest ones that they offer because of the hills in my area. And there's the finished product. So as you can see, there's plenty of gap right here to fit 120s. These are 105s, but if you want to run 120s, you can. The other side, I had 3 that actually came out. They were super tight, sorry, of the motors. I had 3 that came out super tight, and then 1 I had to put heat to. So that's the update. Tell me what you think of the video. Tell me if this was helpful for you. If it was helpful at all, then give me a thumbs up. If you're just one of those people that are cranky all the time, go find some happiness in your life after you give me a thumbs down. Did I miss something? Let me know. But yeah, super impressed with the Cloudwheel in general, and I'm super impressed with this kit. Cloudwheels, if you watch this, I highly suggest giving an option to add extra belts into it, or just adding extra belts, and add speed washer, at least for the Evolve. Super cheap for you, and it helps everybody out so they don't have to wait another 3 days to get speed washers in. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Oh, by the way, next video on the Evolve at least will be a test of the wheels. I'm going to take these back to the same exact hill that I did the last video, the Onsra versus Evolve, when the Evolve struggled up that hill. I'm going to take it to the same exact hill and give it another try and see how it does with the lower T pulleys. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.